Jupiter returns to Aries on Tuesday, December 20th, and will stay there until May 16th, 2023. This is the biggest remaining transit of this year. Jupiter in Aries is brave, independent, and pioneering. So get ready to feel a burst of fresh, spring-like energy, and let's break it down for all 12 signs. My name is Anastasia. I'm a traditional Western astrologer specializing in natal, relationship, and predictive readings. If you'd like to work with me, there are links down below. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe, leave me a like or a comment. I really appreciate all of the interactions I have with you guys, and it encourages me to bring more content your way. Speaking of more content, I wanted to announce YouTube subscriptions. You now have the unique opportunity to support me. There's only 2 levels. One level is the big fan, kind of getting to have that subscriber status. And the second level includes monthly horoscopes that have a lot of detail for important transits of the month ahead. So check out my channel, check that out. Additionally, I am hosting a webinar dedicated to astrology of 2023. That is on December 17th, and there's a link to sign up below. So let's talk about Jupiter in Aries. We've had this transit already starting May 10th until October 28th this year, 2022. So take a look at what got started in your life around that time, especially as I break it down for all 12 rising signs, because I will give you clues on what areas of your chart may have been highlighted to see what will continue to develop, right? This is not a brand new energy. This is something that you have already worked on from May 10th until October 28th. So this is the next period, and this next period lasts from December 20th until May 16th. What's interesting is when Jupiter enters Aries on December 20th, the Sun enters Capricorn the day after, and we get winter solstice. So the Sun will square Jupiter at the very beginning, 0 degrees Capricorn, 0 degrees Aries. So there is an inception of something, there are new beginnings. Aries is very much the spark of fire. So you can expect to feel energized and enlightened and sort of have all these new exciting ideas and feel ready to go after new things. But because there's a square to the Sun, you may experience a sense of tension between the more conservative Capricorn energy, where we need to have a script, we need to follow the rules, we need to be restrained and conservative in some ways, and the Aries energy of let's just do it, right? That's one of my favorite kind of parts of Aries, Jupiter in Aries, besides being the one who has it natally. But Nike Just Do It slogan was created. They came up with it when Jupiter was in Aries. So if you're ever thinking of like, what is this Jupiter Aries in Aries period is about, it's a just do it period. But the square between the Sun and Jupiter is definitely an indicator of needing to take things slow and needing to not rush or sign up for a million projects, because one of the darker or more challenging sides of Jupiter in Aries could be having a million ideas and starting a bunch of new things, but then maybe only finishing 1 or 2. So to make sure you find success, you might want to target a little less potential projects and opportunities versus spreading your energy in too many directions. Another thing that is quite exciting about this transit is that Jupiter going into Aries means Jupiter, the planet of growth, optimism, and abundance, is entering the sign of spring. Aries marks spring in the northern hemisphere. So for a while, Jupiter takes about a year to move through a sign. For the last approximately 6 years, we had Jupiter in the darker signs, like in the signs that are more connected to the periods with less light. So having Jupiter go into the spring part of the year should feel uplifting, should feel exciting. And then of course, Saturn is going to move into a Jupiter-ruled sign next year. So we're going to switch from the Saturnian, heavier, winter-like energy to a more optimistic, positive, I'm in charge kind of energy of Jupiter. So we've had Jupiter in Pisces early in the year, from the start of the year until May, and then from recently, October 28th until December 20th, a lot more spiritual, kind of sitting, meditating, being introspective, trusting the world. With Aries, Jupiter in Aries, we no longer sit quietly and trust. I mean, we still trust, but I think it's more of an energy of like, this looks scary, let me go try it out. Like there's less fear, right? There's a lot more enthusiasm for things. Like Aries, being the first sign of the zodiac, is kind of like a baby that wants to, like, you fall but you get up. You get excited about small things in life. So I really love this placement. You know, like I said, having it in my chart, I'm a big fan. If you want to know more, and there's, you know, some historical examples, I did a video breaking down Jupiter in Aries when it first entered in May, so you might want to give it a watch. But some of the things, like, you know, to sum it up, definitely growing through action, growing through taking steps towards our goals. Aries is the spark of fire, so fire is connected to spirit. You get new ideas, you get ready to explore new territories, go after your desires. There is contagious energy to Aries. You are not only able to go after things you want, you're able to draw people. You are great at leading, you're enthusiastic, you're more confident. It's also possible that you meet people who ignite the spark of fire within you. You're more brave, you're more willing to take risks. Be careful that you're not taking unnecessary risks, and like I said, be careful that you're not starting too many things. But on the positive, you believe in yourself more. Sun is exalted in Aries, so one might think of Aries as the sign in which you are constantly proving yourself by taking action, right? Versus, like, if you take Leo energy is very steady and very solid, and there's confidence, but confidence that is just inherent. Not to say that every Leo is just by default confident in themselves, but I think Leo energy of the sun just kind of shines brightly. While in Aries, there is a tendency to just try to assert themselves, try to prove themselves, be first, take risks, and take action. So Jupiter being in the sign of the Ram definitely gives you some of that excitement and energy. There is passion. I think whatever you feel excited about, whatever you feel passionate about, gets enhanced, and you may be more creative, you may feel more inspired, you might be drawn to fight for things that you believe in or defend people and things that you believe in. If you have any Aries in your life, and let me know, or if you have any Aries placements in the comments down there. But I always think of Aries as like the biggest cheerleader. They are so great at supporting people and encouraging people to be the better version of themselves. So for a while, you will feel like standing up for what you believe or standing up for people you love is what makes you happy. And like I said, some of the things to watch out for: don't take on too much. Make sure you're not just driven by egotistical pursuits, that you're forgetting about the spiritual side of things, which could be sometimes the danger of the Aries placements, especially with Jupiter, I would say. And be careful of extending yourself. That's likely the biggest fine print, the biggest worry I would have. And yeah, watch another video that I did to see what kind of, if you're interested in historic precedents, or if you're interested in a more in-depth breakdown for Jupiter in Aries, you might find it there. So now let's take a look at 12 rising signs and see what kind of things might be ahead for you. So for Aries rising, Jupiter comes back to your first house. Take a look back at May into late October. What got started in your life? Have you had a chance to upgrade your health? Maybe you've invested into your health. Maybe you've recommitted or committed to taking better care of yourself, started a new exercise routine, started eating healthier. My Aries rising friend has signed up for a health program, so she's been taking care of her health for sure. What kind of personal project have started, right? Like, have you found a new job? Maybe you've gotten a chance to show up as a leader, teach, shine light. Jupiter in the first house is very joyful, very generous, very inclined towards serving others. So whatever opportunities you had to step into the spotlight, to deal with the public, to embody a teacher, you're taking them for the next round. You're continuing on that path. That's why I think it's really important to look back and see what was already started in your life. For Taurus rising, Jupiter is going to your 12th house, and 12th house is the place of losses. It's the place of spirituality, mental health. So sometimes take a look at May into October 2022 to see what kind of things you had to let go, potentially related to bad habits or mental health or spirituality. Like maybe you've realized that the religion you followed no longer satisfies you, or maybe you've had to examine some of your self-defeating tendencies, some of the ways you talk to yourself. Maybe you had to release mental blocks, right? Perhaps you want to switch careers, but you've been telling yourself that you're too old for that. So Jupiter in the 12th will likely shine light on all those things that are not serving you, and perhaps encourage you to keep working on releasing them and letting them go. It may also make you more interested in spiritual pursuits, doing yoga, meditating more often, tracking your progress in therapy, whatever it might be. Becoming a healer sometimes is seen through the 12th house, but definitely also being more independent in thought and action, and perhaps releasing the need to please other people, or the need to be like too concerned with what other people think of your actions. Imagination is ruled by the 12th house, so sometimes this could also be a time in which you are more inspired and you get a lot more ideas, and perhaps a lot of ideas that come to you from being solo, taking walks, or just spending more time alone. And let me know if you've already experienced any of these. Like I said, this is the second part of Jupiter in Aries, so the themes will continue. For Gemini risings, Jupiter goes into your 11th house, and 11th house is the place of hopes, dreams, friendships, networks, group projects. So I see you, Gemini risings, becoming leaders, right? Taking on new dreams, new hobbies, working with other people, perhaps like bringing them together under your umbrella, inspiring them, encouraging them, as well as following your dreams. What kind of things you feel passionate about, where you maybe need a little bit of a nudge. What have you been, like what did you start early in the year from May into October that will now need to be continued? But it is likely that you're either finding new friendships, maybe you're joining new groups, or you're getting people to help you to reach your dreams, or you're also maybe reinventing your social circle and joining new groups of people. For Cancer rising, this is exciting. Jupiter is going into your 10th house of career, status, and reputation. What is even more exciting is that next year in July, and even starting April, May, the nodes will switch. So in July, they go into Aries and Libra. And so you're going to get North Node, which usually pulls energy towards it, in your house of career. And now we have Jupiter going into your house of career. And you know, sometimes people watch me and they're like, well, but I'm not as interested in professional pursuits. So it doesn't have to be only professional. 10th house also rules your status in the world and how the world sees you. So Jupiter going into your 10th house could be the time in which you reinvent how the world sees you. Maybe you become a leader of some sorts. Maybe you start a new project. Maybe you become a teacher, or just get inspired and step outside of the old view of yourself or the old way of defining yourself. Take a look at what was going on in your professional sector from May into October this year, because this is not like a brand new story. This is part 2 of the same story that got started earlier in the year. And yeah, be on the lookout to lead, inspire, and make changes to your professional environment. And if you are someone who's tired of working too much, maybe the change Jupiter brings is becoming self-employed and starting a business. For Leo rising, Jupiter goes into the 9th house, and 9th house is the place of religion, spirituality, beliefs, travel, and education. What did you start in those areas from May into October this year? Because you will likely see the progress there and changes there, continuation of the themes. But also a sense of growth, a sense of being more willing to take risks, being more brave, being ready for a change in that area of life, right? Like maybe you go back to school. Maybe you feel inspired to finally follow your dreams and get the education you need. Maybe you have traveled in the past and you found a place in which you feel happy, so now you're taking action towards establishing yourself in that area and you're considering moving. Maybe you're just going through a shift and starting to see yourself differently and starting to believe in your own success somehow. I would recommend trying, if you're drawn especially to some spiritual texts, maybe they could be of use for you right now. Reading books on Buddhism or any other kind of spiritual, even learning astrology can be highly beneficial to you right now. 9th house rules publishing. 9th house also rules legal matters, so you can see blessings there. And perhaps meeting teachers, becoming a teacher, if it's not in the literal sense, maybe just like becoming a person who uplifts other people and encourages other people. But yeah, maybe for some of you, you're gonna move, and let me know if you're planning on it. For Virgo rising, Jupiter comes back to the 8th house. So take a look at May into October this year. What was happening in the sector of shared resources, debts, taxes, inheritance, your partner's finances. If you've started any new collaborations, if you started paying off any debts or you applied for a loan or a scholarship, this might be the time when you see the development of those matters. Your partner's finances can be improving. Maybe your partner is starting a new job or they're getting an inheritance. Sometimes Jupiter in the 8th house is very much, here is money, but not you. You're not getting it, your partner gets it. A Leo rising client actually had, because Jupiter would have been in Pisces in their 8th house, her husband got an inheritance from his accountant. So like super random. And there was some kind of drama where like the accountant left him money to spite the guy's brother, who was actually his friend. I love my job. When I do readings, I get to hear all kinds of fun stories. So if you want to share your story, you can book a reading with me down there. But yeah, 8th house, more opportunities to work with other people, more opportunities to join forces together. You actually benefit right now through working with other people versus working solo. So if you're on a lookout for a new job or a resource or a contact you need, go talk to people you know, because you never know what kind of connections they have. And if you get any financial bonuses or if you have already gotten them from May into October, let me know as well. For Libra risings, Jupiter goes into the 7th house. 7th house is the place of marriage, partnerships, business, contracts, any kind of one-on-one relationships. Take a look at May into October 2022. What got started in your life? What kind of partnerships? What kind of business undertakings? As a Libra rising, I started making candles. the kind of planetary magic items where you look at the astrology of the moment and you capture it and you create an item with those properties. If you'd like to check them out, check out my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. But yeah, like look back, because this transit is more of that. More business growth, more independence, more action. Romantically, what was happening in your life from May until late October? If you have started a new relationship, you may see that relationship blossom. Of course, it's Jupiter in the 7th is not always the most romantic, but it's likely to bring people into your life that are teachers and that benefit you somehow. Maybe they're there to show you new opportunities, right? Like to open your mind. I've had, definitely as a Libra rising myself, I've had people knock on my door, fall in my DMs and be like, would you like to be a part of the app or whatever? Not all of these projects have completed, or not all of them I said yes to, but there's definitely been more opportunities from other people, things that you still kind of put maybe the request in the ether and then it comes to you through a message. Maybe new contracts, maybe you're negotiating, maybe you're moving ahead in your partnership and relationship. I'm excited about that, and the nodes will switch signs in July next year. We're going to start to have eclipses in Libra and Aries, so major new developments for my dear Libra risings when it comes to relationships, partnerships, and business opportunities. For Scorpio rising, Jupiter goes into the 6th house, and once again, take a look at May into October 2022 and see what was happening with your health, diet, exercise, and your work. Because Jupiter in the 6th can give you more work, but it's likely the type of you're doing the work that serves other people. You're doing work that makes you happy. So there might be new professional opportunities. There might be developments of the professional projects you started back in the earlier phase of Jupiter in Aries. Maybe you've applied for a job and now you hear back. Your health is likely to be better, or at the very least, there's going to be a lot more focus on health. So if you need to make any doctor's appointments, if you need to take care of yourself, make sure that you build really good habits around your health, because at some point, not anytime soon, but in 2025, Saturn is going to go in your house of health, and you want to make sure that you have it under control. For Sag rising, quite exciting, Jupiter enters the 5th house. Jupiter in the 5th, especially in the water sign, so here we have fire, but it's still kind of spark of new beginnings. Jupiter in the 5th is really good for creative or an actual pregnancy. So you may get inspired with a new creative idea, or, you may get a bun in your oven. Take a look back. I keep saying that, but take a look back at May into October 2022 to see what was happening in your romantic life, in your creative life, and in the lives of your children, or in the matters related for children, with children. There might be new developments when it comes to starting artistic projects, maybe even exploring your creative passions, going dancing, starting to paint, finding more joy in life, because Jupiter in the 5th house will definitely make you examine whether you're having enough joy or you need some more. Taking care of kids, connecting with kids, spending more time with kids, getting pregnant, having fun, can definitely be subject of Jupiter in the 5th house. And you may see romantic developments as well, especially if you started dating someone recently. For Capricorn rising, Jupiter enters the 4th house, so you may feel a pull to take action when it comes to home, family, and your living situation. And take a look at what was going on in those areas from May into October this year, because you're continuing on that. So if you started building a house, this might be the time when you finish building it or finish renovating it. Or if you started looking for a home to buy, maybe you get you get your mortgage gets approved or something like that. You may see developments and more action when it comes to property, land, real estate matters. Fourth house also deals with topics of security and safety. So you may be making changes in your life that are less obvious or less connected to home, but still make you feel more secure, supported. Maybe you're looking at people you surround yourself with and changing things up, choosing healthier connections, choosing healthier relationships. And of course, because it's the place of home and family, relationships with family can be changing as a result as well. For Aqua rising, Jupiter returns into the third house, and here we're looking at the siblings, neighbors, your communication, your hobbies, your skills, things you do in your everyday life, and how you can modify your schedule, how you can improve your knowledge in order to become a better, more connected version of yourself. So take a look at May into October this year, what was going on in those areas. Have you started studying something new? Have you started to be more involved with the community? Have you begun writing? What was your schedule like? And how do you spend your everyday life, right? Like, what kind of changes happen to your routine? Because now with Jupiter going back into your third house, you might be more encouraged to continue with that, right? Like, it's also interesting, like your third house is Mars ruled, right? So your daily life might be very martial. You might be quite active, quite fast-paced life, a leader when it comes to your siblings, your neighbors, your community. So I think Jupiter being here, wanting to uplift, wanting to teach, wanting to inspire, will make you want to bring more of that into your life. It will make you want to communicate more forcefully, perhaps, so be careful of that, but it will encourage you to communicate about things that you're passionate about. So I can see you getting involved with the community, being the communicator, speaking, house of communication, speaking on topics that make your heart beat faster, that ignite the fire within, or maybe teaching, maybe taking action. Finally, for Pisces rising, Jupiter returns to the second house of money and values. Take a look at what was happening with your finances from May into December 2022. Have you gotten a new job? Have you paid off any debts? Have you taken on any loans? Because we are likely to continue those topics, right? Like Jupiter in Aries is very independent, very action-driven, so you may experience an excitement, enthusiasm, more ideas when it comes to making money. It's fire, so you get like a boost of fire in your chart, more action, more courage. So if you're asking for a promotion, if you're looking for more opportunities, if you're seeking clients, this will be the time when there's likely a burst of fresh energy. And because Jupiter is connected to values, I think you're less likely to take on things that make you feel unappreciated, undervalued, and maybe building your confidence, building yourself up, taking action, choosing, surrounding yourself with better people, making professional changes could be the topic here. And let me know what was happening in your life from May into October. Have you gotten a pay raise? What was happening with your finances? Any kind of exciting new developments? I'd love to know. So this is it. We've circled the 12 zodiac signs. I'm very excited. It's my personal Jupiter return, and the first period was very amazing and great. So I hope it brings a lot of blessings to all of us, and we have something to look forward to. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.